San Francisco was really dope then. And then I moved up there in 95 when I was 18. Creative people doing things that I'd never really seen or I didn't think would really be accepted in graffiti. I was in San Francisco for graduate school.
There's a scene with Boss One and what's the cat's name? The Native American dude that is a b-boy, Citing Style Elements crew. He hangs out with Boss One.
Remind?
Remind,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And Artson? Artson and Remind, they do that flute beatboxing thing together.
And he's basically, I was in the other room even, like I wasn't even watching, I was just listening to it. And he was saying basically like, you know, I watch these rappers and like they got the big booty hoes and the cars and the guns. He's like, where's the hip hop in your video? You know, where's like the b-boys? Where's, you know, the graffiti artist? Where's the hip hop in your rap video? And that's the reality.
But see, the crazy thing is, like you said, like Young Thug, like Young Thug's probably like 21 or something like that, maybe 22. When he was a kid, like his influences like Cash Money and like Soulja Boy and 50 Cent.
Exactly.
Like a lot of these cats, you ask them where the hip hop is, and they're like, I don't know. You tell me, where is it? I don't know. No one ever showed me this shit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
They came off of that.
Yeah.
Are you here?
That shit.
Filmo. Bust a hoe. Filmo. Bust a hoe.
Really though.
HP, baby.
When I went to the parties, they were always HP, Filmo, HP, Filmo.
Backseat of the car with a Kango sweatshirt on, like half passed out. They went, you know about Burkos? Spot in Fillmore where he used to go buy weed. It was a liquor store. So, and we pulled there middle of the night. I never heard him. I'm just drunk in the back seat. Like,
Is this near OC Project?
Yeah. And they're like, oh, we're going to Burgos. All right, yeah, okay, whatever, you know. And we pull up down there. My eyes can't even open, but I heard all fools rush the car, right? And what you need? And I'm like, just like, HP! And I can hear him like, what's wrong with your boy? Oh, he's just fucked up.
How's it going?
Hi.
Hi, how
Pretty
are you?
good.
I'm Vanessa.
Rigel.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Vanessa,
Hey, how's it going? How are you?
All right. Hello.
Hi.
Reza.
Nice to meet you.
Likewise. You got any like one? Let everybody kind of filter in here.
You guys see anyone else trickling in? So because it started late,
You can pass that book around. Yeah, just pass the book around, yeah.
okay, so would you guys like to get started? Yeah, I'm just going to introduce you briefly and then I'll be the timekeeper, so I'll hold up the sign for the timekeeper. Yeah, I'm the timekeeper.
All right, everybody, this is Vanessa. Vanessa's got something to say.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for attending Rock the School Bells. You are in the History of Hip Hop Graffiti workshop, and let's give a warm welcome to Fury of All Tribes.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. Anybody here done Rock the School Bells before? Cool. Okay, and then for everybody else, it's your first time. Kind of cool. Hip hop and education, right? I mean, you get that every day? No, not really, right? So thanks for coming out. Hopefully you guys get something good out of this. My whole goal of this workshop is to give you a little bit of history of the art form, because in hip hop, if you don't know your history, you're not, how do I say this? If you don't know the history of what you're doing, you're not doing it right, because you didn't invent it. You need to know where it came from, what the roots are of it, and what you're emulating, you know, and because we're talking about graffiti, graffiti is a crime, graffiti is a felony. If you get caught doing graffiti, you could very well go to jail or worse. So that's the focus of this workshop, is just learning a little bit about the history, some of the legalities of it, and you know, hopefully you'll get to learn something, have a little bit of fun too. I've got a couple of helpers here. My man Greg's one here. He's got a workshop a little bit later. Hopefully you're all signed up for it. And this is Crayone, world famous TWS crew. If you don't know it, Google it, Crayone, C-R-A-Y-O-N-E. We're very honored to have him with us today. I went kind of easy on this year. You know, we've done workshops in the past where, you know, I made you all draw letters and you had to turn in work and it was a little more complicated. We're gonna watch some movie clips and then we're gonna do a little Q&A. So everybody get comfortable, we're gonna dim the lights. Guys, grab us a chair, man. You guys, if you're gonna be here, you're gonna be here for a minute. Make yourselves comfy. So the movie that we got here, I don't know, has anybody seen Piece by Piece? Anybody? Okay, there we go. So this is a documentary that's made by a guy from San Diego, actually, and it's A History of San Francisco Graffiti, made by someone that's not from San Francisco. So a lot of the locals feel that, you know, the history piece isn't as in-depth as it could be, but for the most part, he did a pretty good job. And so we're gonna watch, you know, probably the first 30 minutes of this, and then we're gonna take a break, we're gonna do a little Q&A. And then after that, we're going to focus on the legality piece because it's really important again. I mean, there are people in San Francisco that have died for this art form. You know, you're going to see a little bit of that and who that is and what happened. And there's going to be a prize or two, so pay attention. So on the Q&A, you know, maybe you'll be able to walk out of here with something. Before we start, we'll keep it short, but any questions, any concerns? Anybody feel like they're in the wrong classroom? All right, guys, enjoy.
Fourth grade. And ever since then I dedicated myself to the craft. At first it was fun and games, and then the addiction kind of grew. At this point, it's kind of like a religion to me. I know it may sound strange, but
They say that the first element is graffiti, because it's just kind of the oldest element of hip-hop as we know it today. Myself and most of my peers, as they mentioned in the video, you know, we were paying before they called it hip-hop on the West Coast. We were just kind of doing what we did. And, you know, we had seen it, and some of us have different stories. You know, some of us saw the movie, like they were talking about here in this movie, Style Wars. You know, some of us saw, for me, it was I saw some show on Showtime on cable once, and it was like, well, what's that? You know, and next thing you know, I was just kind of doing it. And I've been doing it for a long time. When I started, there were probably maybe 5 people doing graffiti art as we know it in San Francisco. And I've been doing it for a long time. I've been chased, you know. I've never been arrested. I've been caught once or twice. And I mean, it's you know, it's a great form of self-expression. I personally have a lot of morals as far as graffiti goes, and a lot of my peers are not really, you know, with it, and they get kind of bummed out. You know, because I feel like there's certain guidelines you should follow. I mean, there's basic guidelines in graffiti, you know, as far as who can go over what and when and how and why, but then it goes even farther into, you know, popular thing is to bomb small delivery trucks. You know, what a lot of people don't care is that's one man working for a living. You know, that's not a big corporation, that's his truck. He worked really hard to make that money and get that truck. And the attraction to it is the truck travels. So it travels, everybody sees it, you know, kind of like a subway train or a muni bus. And, meanwhile, again, I'm not with it because I feel like that guy worked really hard. The last thing he needs is me destroying his property, you know, along with like window scrolls, things like that. You know, there's certain lines and people will follow various rules. And some people are just in it to destroy, they don't care. You know, and so if this is something that you choose to do, you know, you need to really think about why you're doing it. You know, and again, we're going to talk about consequences for a minute also. Anybody else want to talk about why they were attracted to this workshop or this class? Just something to do?
I just want to learn how to do it.
Oh, you want to learn how to do it?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. So there's a lot of resources out there. You know, what I would suggest is, you know, find somebody that you know that's doing it. You know, and learn that route, because it's really easy to copy things off of like YouTube and the internet, but you know, you're going to get your best knowledge handed to you through people that know how to do it. And they're out there. You know, they're out there. Don't be shy. You stick around after class. You know, I might be able to introduce you to a couple people. There's people here today that definitely could probably help you out. Is anybody here just an artist that's attracted to the element that, you know, I mean, there's a lot of you guys here, you know, so I'm really curious about what brought you out. So yeah, I think you said you write too.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
so
do.
talk to me.
Oh, well, I mean, I do any type of art form.
Okay.
Whether it could be fine art, stencil art, street art,
Okay.
graffiti art, you know, anything attracts me.
So are you actively writing in the streets?
Kind of.
How long?
I mean, I don't do it all the time, but I've been always doing it, you know, once in a while.
You ever been chased? You ever been caught?
Nah.
It'll happen. It'll happen. You gotta be ready. Anybody want to talk about their feelings on graffiti? Because there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of different levels of graffiti. You know, there's graffiti art, there's graffiti destruction and vandalism. There's a lot of different routes, ways that you can look at it. You know, not everybody's about it. You know, anybody have a personal view they'd like to share with the room? Anybody?
I think it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's another expression of what someone can do. Like, I can't do that, but, you know, it's cool that someone else can.
Right. How would you feel if somebody wrote on your house?
As long as it looks good.
That's right. Anybody else? So, everybody, this is your first time to see this movie?
Yeah.
So I suggest, you know, if you're into the art form, if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, to definitely check it out. It's on YouTube. It's really easy to watch. It premiered in San Francisco to a line around the block crowd. For the most part, it's a really good movie. We're going to skip. There's a section where they get into the 90s, and there's a big influx of Los Angeles writers. You know, there's a certain group or two, and they call themselves the Kings of California. And they did a lot of work in San Francisco, and it caused, you know, certain things to happen within the San Francisco graffiti community, and we're going to skip it. But I mean, if you're really into it and you want to learn, you know, definitely I would suggest you watch this video. And you know, we're keeping time short. Is anybody here signed up for the afternoon workshop? So we're going to do a little hands-on painting. We've got fresh paint, place to paint. Even if you're not, come around. We're going to be set up right outside of where you signed up. And if you want to get your hands wet, you can paint a little bit. That's where we'll do the hands-on stuff. Bless you. Really important, though, I'm going to touch on the legality piece, and I think this film really lines it out really well, so we're going to take a quick look at that. And then we'll ask a couple more questions. And like I said, we've got a couple giveaways, so pay attention. You guys got anything you want to say? We'll talk to the room.
I mean, I started out doing graffiti. Just there was a guy. He just wrote one day. He's like, "Yeah, let me hit up my tag." I was like, "You have a tag?" I was like, "Maybe I should have a tag too." You know, I didn't know what I was doing, but one day I was with my friend Robert, and I was writing his name on the bus, just messing around, and he smacked my hand, and it went, "Oh." And I was like, "Robo?" I was like, "I'm gonna just start writing Robo everywhere." And then I found out a little bit more. I went on the internet, I looked at some videos, and I was like, okay, graffiti pieces, I'm gonna do it. Bought a marker off my friend in class and went to my other friend in homeroom, like, look what I got, bam! Big old marker, it was like 14. He's like, okay, I wanna do this too. After school, we just went, just writing everywhere. And that was like 13, 14 years ago, and I still do it. But it's gotten me, I've met a whole community of people. It's had a big impact on my life. It's allowed me to express myself. It's been therapeutic. Now I get to hang around cats like these who, like, you know, these guys, the movie don't even really say what these two guys have contributed to graffiti, so you get to meet a lot of people. And as far as the legality stuff, I've been chased. I've been in fights and confrontations. Been to jail. I've been on probation. That stuff is not really worthwhile towards the end. So if anyone's into it, I'd encourage more to get into the art form of it. But it never stops. Like, these guys are examples. Starting with that little tag on the bus, I've gotten to do pieces, murals, private stuff, graphic design, and I'm really thankful it's been a part of my life. So I'd appreciate, you guys should be able to be thankful to, honestly, to get this opportunity to learn from these cats.
Is there another artist named Robo King?
I don't know. I only wrote that name for like a year.
Yeah.
And then you get names
In the
you switch it
UK,
up.
in Europe, in the UK.
Oh, there is a guy named Robo?
Yeah. He actually, if anybody's ever heard of Banksy, King Robbo is supposedly like one of the first graffiti artists in the UK. and he had a legendary piece that had run from like 1985 until like 2000 or something, and Banksy went and did like a wheat paste over it. There was this big battle that happened, and Robbo ended up in a coma. And some people think Banksy put him there. So he was found him laying on the street, and I'm not sure, he might actually be dead at this point. But yeah, that's another good Google King Robbo graffiti. And thanks for touching on that, Dregs. And that's the other thing, is if you're really into art, you know, and you choose to follow this art form, you know, it helps you branch off into other great areas of art. You know, I'm going to ask Crayone to speak after the legality piece a little bit. And, you know, there's great opportunities in doing legal mural work. Crayone has worked and done murals for some major companies. And that's all because he just started writing his name on the wall, you know. So there's a lot of opportunity if you choose the creative side of this art form as opposed to the destructive side. Bear with me, I'm not sure that I've got this queued up quite right, but we're going to see how it goes here. Right, this makes
For the most part, teenagers, even some adults, will exercise this unbridled vandalism for whatever it's worth, because it's part of the name of the game in this permissive society, as it were.
Oh, I don't know if I can do this now.
Sky has the color I wanted. I was like, oh, I want
What do you expect?
Which one's your pen?
So where did you guys just come from? Oh, and who did that?
Zulu Gremlin.
Little skinny guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, was your name? Pretty good, huh? Did he dance?
No.
No? Why not?
We're just talking the whole time.
Yeah. That guy's like a legend.